so I don't butcher your Finnish name, would you like to introduce yourself?
All right. Well, in English-speaking situations, I just go with William, but I'm Viljami Wenttola from Joviac from Tampere, Finland.
And you guys are about to release your third album early next year. Well, mid next year.
Yeah, we're going to release it in, I do not want to get this wrong, in May. It's going to be the 16th of May. Yeah.
Right before my birthday. Thank you.
Nice. When's your birthday?
May 23rd.
Nice. Well, then maybe we can send you a copy as a gift or something.
That would be one funny Joviac story. So I'm getting ready for this, and last week I have a little audio player, a little FIO, high resolution. I can play FLAC on it and all sorts of stuff.
Right.
And I had loaded that thing with music to drive here 3 years ago. It took me 8 days to drive to Alaska from Florida, and I'm going through it last night, and I have Joviac's Here and Now album on there. You were one of the albums I listened to as I crossed the country 3 years ago. So
nice.
So we have a connection.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when we released Here and Now, you guys played Straws, I think, a lot, and we're super grateful for that. Yeah, I remember that fondly.
So the new album is on the way, and this has a more, shall I say, more prog name.
Oh yeah, the part one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I named it. Well, first of all, it's called Autofiction Part One, Shards. And, well, I named it Autofiction because, well, that's kind of the buzzword here in Finland in literary circles right now. A lot of authors are releasing works of autofiction, meaning they're autobiographies, but touched up with fictitious elements or some such.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, I had never heard that in relation to music, and I thought, that's exactly what I do. I have, for example, on this album, there are a couple of really personal, really autobiographical songs, but then there are a few songs that have absolutely nothing to do with my life. And part one, it was more of a symbolic thing right now. So right now, I don't have this overarching, like, 5-part album, like a concept in my mind, but because of those songs that are autobiographical, a lot of the themes deal with, for example, rough times in the past. And I thought, naming it Part One could be like a symbolic thing for now, meaning that, yeah, there was rough stuff in the past, but that's just the first part, and meaning that it implies there's a part two and perhaps a part three and so forth, that there's a future, that it was just one part of your life. It doesn't have to define you.
Mm-hmm. Now, you released the first song, and this is way early to release a song. Why so early, and why this song?
Well, Shine is the song that we just released, and well, first of all, I thought, this has like single potential. Yeah, like plastered all over it. And we're dropping 4 singles with, ahead of this album. So actually, in that sense, it was kind of like last minute. The thing is, we had a really rough time getting this release together. Mm-hmm. We had negotiations with a big label and stuff, and they didn't go well. So that meant we were kind of sitting on this album for a year. Oh, wow. And just to have it, and once that whole process came to an end, we just felt like, okay, let's just hit the ground running. We want this out, and so we still wanted to do it right. We wanted to have several singles to, help us get the word out better. And so we're dropping the next one in January, actually.
Wow, that's quick.
Yeah, and then it's going to be, I have the dates here. I don't want to get them wrong, but yeah, January we're dropping the second single, then in February the 3rd, the third single that is, then the fourth in April, and the album in May. So it's going to be almost like a song per month kind of thing.
Are you already working on videos for those songs?
Well, like I said, we got the album done in late 23. So that was the whole electronic press kit.
Mm-hmm.
So which we sent to labels and stuff, and that included 2 music videos, one of which was the video that accompanied the song Shine that we just released.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have another one that we made at the same time. And we're looking to shoot a third, if we can, with a kind of DIY kind of thing, because, we're, for lack of a better word, we are still an independent band, even though we have a distributor and stuff. So we have to pay for these things ourselves. So videos are a big, well, you can sink a lot of money into them. So we're just trying to come up with a doable and nice solution for one more video.
Don't you think in modern times, with the whole rise of TikTok and social and more of social media, people making videos kind of thing, the DIY thing will work better now than it probably would have back when you released Here and Now?
I think you may be probably right if we actually utilized platforms like TikTok smartly.
I don't, but
Yeah.
that's now kind of permeating everything. Everybody's doing like short videos of their lives and kind of making promos or commercials out of their lives, if you think about it, these 30 to 60 second videos. But
Yeah, and the whole kind of sentiment that it's not enough to just be an artist nowadays. You have to be your PR person, and like you have to do everything.
Kind of a social magician.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, I was just talking to someone about like hiring someone to help us with our social media, because it's something that has never come naturally to me. It's been always something that I felt like we have to do. And I try to be personal, like I try to get personal with it and stuff like that. So it's not just in case you missed it and Throwback Thursday and all these like template stuff that everyone does. But still, yeah.
And it gets a lot easier when you have new music, new art to put out there.
Exactly. I'm trying to enjoy this moment because, like I said, for a year, it was just sitting on it and uncertainty. So now that we actually have stuff coming out and we have like immediate future plans and stuff, it feels like we are like an actual band doing stuff.
That feels good, though.
Yeah, it feels so good. It's such a relief. So, because like, I did a video vlog about this whole experience on our YouTube channel, but if you can go there if you want the details. But essentially, we talked to a big label. They told us they liked our look, our name, our vibe, but this album was on, and I quote, on the wrong side of the fence in terms of what they thought would get streams nowadays. So yeah, it was a kind of a blow to the gut in a sense, because I would never put out an album that I didn't have faith in, that I wasn't proud about and or proud of. So to kind of hear that it wasn't going to cut it, in their opinion, wasn't marketable, was a little bit of a letdown. So we started this whole year-long process of me basically trying to come up with something, write new songs to please these guys in the label. And even the best case scenario, it sounded like all that hard work that we put into this package, this album, these videos and everything, that in the best case scenario, if we did end up working together, we would still be throwing all that in the garbage. So it just feels rewarding and a relief to, finally get this out.
Now, you finished it over a year ago. Are you a tweaker? Are you a perfectionist? Did you go back and fix things, or did you put it on the lock and say, this is it and this is the project and we're done?
Uh, I do have a lot of that in me, but the way this whole thing worked was that we finished it, we mixed it, mastered it, and then the videos and everything. Once that package, the electronic press kit was done, then that was locked.
Hmm.
And then, we sent it off to see if anyone would, if it would garner interest. And yeah,
But hard to
after
resist, right? I mean,
it is always, but then again, I also want to go forward.
hmm.
Once I have something set in my mind that okay, this is done, it kind of feels like a letdown to have to go back to it. Of course, there's always stuff that I could change. Like I just listened to the album the other day for the first time in a while, and I was like, okay, I could have done that. I could have done that, but yeah, I'm happy to use deadlines and have this kind of um, thinking that at some point you do have to let it go.
Well, because albums are kind of a snapshot in time, and you yourself have moved on from that. So I can see resisting wanting, because this is what I did then, but I would do this differently now. It's time for new stuff, I guess.
It's so true. Yeah. An album is kind of like a tattoo that it's a representation of what you were going through at the time.
Any other favorite songs on the album? I mean, Shine isn't necessarily your favorite song. It was just, the one with most potential. But what do you like on the album? Because I haven't heard the whole thing yet.
Um, I actually Shine is probably
Really?
um at least it's one of my favorites because I had this epiphany like I think after Here and Now. I was kind of having going through this process of trying to analyze what do I want to do as an artist? What are my core motivations? What do I what do I like? What is the experience of being a musician to me? And through that, I kind of noticed that okay, so subconsciously I've been doing this practice of because I love pop music and I love
Hmm.
progressive metal music. I've subconsciously been doing this process over and over for all of Joviac, where I take progressive metal elements, try to try and make the songs interesting, but then take poppy elements to try and have the songs be memorable and digestible and whatnot. Um, and I think in Shine, just like when Here and Now came out, Straws and Decay, I thought were good examples of that. And I think Shine is definitely a shining example
Nice. I see
of
what you did there.
it's an example of that phenomenon for me. But there are two longer songs on it, 9 and
Hmm.
11 minutes. That's my prog nerd side coming out, and the Dream Theater fan and whatnot. And then there are three instrumentals too. So it's it's a it's a journey, I'd like to think.
I hope so. That's my favorite kind of album. I'm still somebody who puts on a whole album and listens to the whole thing.
Oh my God, that's so awesome. And I'm happy there are people out there still enjoying albums because I love the format. And um like I know a lot of bands that are doing the thing where they just release single, 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 and then at some point they kind of cut it off, and that collection of singles were is considered to be an album or not. But
But the same
yeah,
thought didn't go into it as crafting a, a collection of songs with kind of a thing.
yeah, yeah,
Not
and
just a
that's what,
concept, but just, that all goes together. This, as we talked earlier, this is the snapshot of this time with you and the band.
yeah, and I love that adventure because I never know exactly how um, an album is going to turn out.
Hmm.
You kind of it's revealed to you when it comes back from the mastering process, even like that, because that's the always the final thing to happen. So it's like, oh, okay, this it turned out like this. Of course, you get a picture earlier on, but yeah,
But you've spent so much time with it in a raw form. That finished form is just, it's got an extra sheen on it, if you will.
Oh yeah, and especially when it comes to mastering, you really want someone external outside of the band to take care of that because, I did so much on this album, especially I produced and I mixed the album. So and we recorded it except for the drums. Our current drummer took care of that part incredibly well. But yeah, so because I'm also the songwriter, so I've heard those songs quite a few times by the time they're released. but
Right.
but it's still a journey, and at the end, I try and once it's done, I try not to listen to it too much, so I can have this moment of coming back to it after a while and going like, oh right,
With a
it
fresh
was
set
like
of
this.
ears, so to speak.
Yeah.
So where did the band get the name? Why are you called Joviac?
Good question. It's when I founded the band, I wanted a name that would, to me, represent kind of the whole reason why I started the band. I came out of a previous project that kind of fell apart, and uh, we just buried it because of bad chemistries.
Hmm.
We had a lot of fighting and stuff. So out of the ashes of that band, I I kind of learned what I want to do in the sense that I need to start a band where I make the music and um, I steer the boat, so to speak. It may sound like a kind of dictator kind of thing, but to me it felt right. So um, Joviac comes from the old English word Jove, like by Jove, because my second name is Jupiter, and Jove means Jupiter. So yeah, that's that. It was a kind of reminder to me to, stay true, stay true to yourself.
I love that. I actually think that's very. I talked to Stephen Wilson a few years ago, and he talked
Wow.
about the difference between being in Porcupine Tree and then being the solo thing. He was like, it was hard for him to be in a band where it was, they were pretty much. I mean, it started as his project, but it became a very band thing, and he wanted to do his vision, and I get that, both ends of it. I think being in a band is very hard, and if you can do it, it's great, right? Seeing 4 or 5 guys on stage really doing it and giving their all, and that's an amazing thing. I've been on stage. It's a feeling that you don't get anywhere else. But on the flip side, you are a artist and you have this creation to do, and at least you found guys that are in a band with you because they kind of see your vision.
And I never take that for granted. And we've had guys come in and guys go because it wasn't right for them, and because it always starts from chemistries. You need to be in a band, or you need to have guys that you want to work with and that are okay with the concept. And I'm straightforward with all the guys that have come and gone. That it's my band, even though it's always difficult for me to say that because I mean I'm not like I don't like making noise about myself or anything like that. I just know that this is the way that I have to do this band. And so sorry, I lost my train of thought.
That's okay.
My, my my cat is here playing anyway.
But you are the captain of the ship, and
Yes.
and hopefully everybody else works as a good crew and gets that vision to where it needs to be.
Yeah, exactly. We we have a great understanding in the band of how things work, and I should mention that we do arrange the songs together. So I write the kind of skeletons and the structures, and then I send the guys their parts, and then they arrange their parts to better fit their fingers and or hands, whatever they play with. So, uh, and I think that's important. Everyone brings their own spice, but it is still they are still my songs because I wanted a band where I could express myself through the medium of music.
Are there tour plans with this big project?
It's There are always tour dreams. Let's put it like that.
But in this a turbulent world, it's hard.
It is, and the one kind of lodestar, the one concrete goal that we've had since day one is to build this band into an entity that, where it would make sense for us to go on tour outside of Finland, and that's already a big ask. It's a big goal, because anyone can book a tour playing pubs around Europe or something. Well, maybe not anyone, but still, that's not what I see for us. But with every album, we've gone forward one more step and one more step. Mm-hmm. And I think one of these albums, one of these days, we're gonna get to the point, to the profile where, we land a slot warming up for some amazing band.
Or maybe on a prog power show.
Maybe that would be a dream come true as well. We have all these same aspirations as the next prog band, but right now I'm just happy that we have our record release show, singular, booked. We're going to announce it in January, but it's here in our hometown of Tampere, and it's a very nice venue, and we're trying to expand that into more shows, but we're still a band within Finland.
Maybe you should film that show then so everybody else can see that, because you do have fans around the world.
Yeah, definitely not a bad idea.
Expensive, I know, but...
Yeah, we have a couple of things on our YouTube channel where you can see kind of what we're about live. Mm-hmm. During COVID times, we took part in this awesome streaming event called High Taste at Home. Our whole set that we shot in a great studio is on our channel, and we have another studio live thing there as well. But we definitely want to do more, and we want to definitely try and think of ways to reach people who aren't able to come to Tampere, Finland to see us.
Well, I think videos these days, they've kind of made a comeback on YouTube and elsewhere that, it's reminiscent of the early MTV days that you could pretty much put up a video. Anybody can put up a video, and hopefully people will find it.
Yeah. Hope is definitely it's definitely in there. But it's the same problem with with all things on the internet. Being a small band nowadays, is how do you stand out from the noise? How do you stand out? Period. Because whatever genre you're in, you have hundreds of other bands of your caliber.
Lots of competition out there.
Yeah. So, what we've realized is we have to kind of find partners to work with who help us, like Inverse Records that this album is being distributed through, and we've gone with an agency called Gingervine Management in terms of PR with this, and just all these things that in the good old days a record label would have kind of taken care of.
Right.
So, but nowadays you have to pay for it yourself.
It's a different ball game these days.
It is, yeah.
Well, thanks for taking time today. I know it's like nighttime over there, right?
Well, almost any time at this time of year looks like nighttime. No.
How many hours of daylight do you have this time of year? We're at about 5.5 right now.
Actually, pretty much the same. Mm-hmm. Over here, sunrise is 9:30 in the morning. Sunset 3:04 p.m.
Yep, that's about what we have today. So
yeah, but no worries. It's 8:20 in the evening here, so this was the perfect time to do this.
Awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time. I'm looking very much forward to the album. The song is great and already spinning hard on ROCKFILE Radio. So there we go.
We appreciate it so much, and thank you for supporting us year after year.
been a pleasure.
Same. And I hope we do this again with future releases.